Hello, I'm Elise Lonsdale, and it's been several years since I've been able to upload a Toastmaster speech to my YouTube channel, the last one being way back in 2018, where I was doing a speech all about keyboards for one of my online Toastmaster groups. Now I'm back in the brick and mortar clubs, and I belong to two clubs locally, Ringwood Toastmasters and Croydon Yarra Valley Toastmasters. 2 nights ago at Croydon Yarra Valley Toastmasters Club, I was doing speech number 2 in the presentation mastery path, writing a speech with purpose. And I feel this definitely did have some purpose because, again, I was talking about my work and I would call the speech Reading with Speech. I enjoyed the speech and I also enjoyed the evaluation by Linda, but as I don't have her permission to post her evaluation online, I'm just going to post the speech. And it was lovely at the end of the night when my peers voted me as best speaker for the evening. So please enjoy Reading with Speech. Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. Reading is something we often do when it's quiet, unless we happen to be reading something out loud. So what's all this reading with speech business about, and that sort of stuff? Fellow Toastmasters and guests, and those who are with us and at home, as you know, I'm Elise Lonsdale, and if you haven't already noticed, I'm actually legally blind, which means I have less than 10% vision, and that means, to make it easy for people to understand, I can see what you might see at 6 metres, you would see it at 60 metres. So that means I'm 6/60, well within the legal realms of being legally blind, and I have less, roughly about 30 degrees, probably less now, of field of vision or peripheral vision, which means that I'm seeing now the end of the table and the ends of the side tables, but I'm not seeing Linda or our Toastmaster unless I turn my head. So that's how narrow it gets. Now that affects the way that we use our technology. And I am fortunate that I have 2 jobs. Very related jobs, which even makes it even more special. One is my own business, Data Australasia, where I work with people who have low vision or who are totally blind to access their technology. And the other job is working in a school called Statewide Vision Resource Centre on a Friday, where I do a similar sort of thing but with school-aged children from years 4 to year 10. So quite a big span of the curriculum, and we call it the expanded core curriculum. So I have to wrestle with this reading business every day of my life. Not just for my job and making money and being gainfully employed, but also for my own reading pleasure, or just using the technology. So how do we do this? Well, most devices, including Windows, have either third-party or built-in what we call screen reading programs. And a screen reader is a piece of software that will voice text on the screen. Now, we've probably seen things like the immersive reader in Microsoft Word and Edge and those sort of little party tricks that will read a whole web page, but they're not a screen reader because you can't actually control them and review so easily what it is that you're reading. And the choices of speech, of the voices that we install to those, can be somewhat limited. With a fully fledged screen reader, we can install some electronic voices, but the gotcha is we've got to teach people how to use the screen reader because they usually have a separate set of commands. Thank you. Face ID actually worked that time. Yeah, how good is that? So we actually have to teach people how to use those commands either on the keyboard or on a tablet such as my iPad here, how to physically gesture. You're used to swiping, and when you are, I hope I'm in the frame for this, when you are actually on the app that you want to be on, like say the FaceTime app, you just tap it and up she comes. That's the theory. Let's try the settings app. The settings app actually worked. There you go, something worked. So we can just point and shoot as a person with sight. We can actually point and shoot. There's the email that I'm going to show you later on in this presentation. And up she comes. But when you have a screen reader involved, such as the world's first gesture-based screen reader, such as Apple VoiceOver, which I will now start up.
VoiceOver on. Landscape. Clock. Notes. Maps. To birth. Ellipsis.
And it's going to start reading randomly, so I've just stopped it because I don't want it to read randomly. So some of you may have wondered what it is I get up to when I've got the earbuds in, these wonderful little earbuds that courtesy of Apple. I could do that with a third-party set if I would prefer, but often these are convenient. I'm actually writing my notes for things like evaluations before when I did my table topics. So let's have a look at how this screen reader might work.
FaceTime.
There's a FaceTime icon. Maps icon. Calendar.
Thursday. Photos.
Photos, etc. Now I'm just performing a swipe on the screen, and you won't see it unless you've got a better view, but there's a little box that appears around the icon in question. This tells me, and it tells the person who's looking at it, if they've got enough sight, or an instructor perhaps, that this is the icon that has focus. My Photos app has focus, which means the computer has the attention, so when I execute the confirming gesture to open it, it will trigger the Photos app. Now I won't go into the photos yet because we're not sure what's going to turn up, so we'll just come back here to
Settings.
Just come back here to Settings. Now rather than just tapping, because if I tap and the app opens, that's not really what we want to have happen, because we could trigger a lot of unwanted functionality from our devices. So we use the confirming gesture of a single finger double tap anywhere on the screen, I might add, because remember, that's got the box around it, it's focused. So double tap, and up comes my Settings app. So I can do that swiping left and right gesture anywhere on the screen. It moves the focus. Again, the square box, the rectangular box is there.
Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, mobile data, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi,
and if I want to go into my Wi-Fi settings,
Wi-Fi,
stay focused with it, I can go in there like that.
Heading.
So that is a little bit of briefly how a screen reader works, but that's not all when you're vision impaired. You get to read documents, sort of. There's a few things that go wrong, and let's hope we've got enough time to demonstrate it.
App switcher.
I have here
Voice Dream.
an app called Voice Dream Reader, which is self-voicing, and it has its own speech in it.
Play.
iPad with VoiceOver accessibility is built into every Apple device. Students may not want to feel out of place at school. There are accessibility options to enable people to use iPads when reading, researching and studying rather than holding a device close to their face. People may magnify items on the screen.
Now I'll stop that because that's the handout I made for my school, and if I use the device properly,
iPad with VoiceOver. Heading level 1.
it's marked up with heading level styles. And you've probably seen those in Microsoft Word, those little heading level 1, heading level 2, heading level 3, and you probably wonder what the heck all that's about. Well, they allow search engines and non-visual people to find those headings and use them as anchor points. And sadly, I'm not going to have enough time to demonstrate maybe
Vertical headings.
Oh yes, well, I can navigate that document by headings.
Accessibility is built into every dark mode.
Dark mode.
Heading, screen grab with light mode.
And it's actually
Heading
describing the
screen.
picture.
Screen grab with heading not found.
No more headings. So
dark mode. Dark mode.
and it's
Heading
actually set the
3.
focus. You may not see it. It's actually set the focus to dark mode, and it talks about dark mode and the advantages of that. But that's a little bit advanced for this small talk. So you might wonder
App
what I'm
switcher.
doing.
Suggestions. Voice Dream Reader.
Voice Dream Writer. Now I've got no keyboard. I've got a virtual keyboard at the moment. So
Hard keyboard.
here is what my notes looked like earlier on tonight when I had to evaluate table topics.
VoiceOver
I'll
off.
turn off table topics, and I'll turn that off and see if I can get that to self-voice. No, I can't get that to self-voice without, there's the play button, there it is.
Toastmasters Croydon. Table topics. The valuation. Even number responded. Evaluate Elise Lonsdale. TT respondent. 2. Weirdest food combo you've eaten. Victoria. Repeated the question. Started with a note: eating weird food. Banana. Good story. Not like Vegemite. Editorial. Who invented? Staked within the.
So this is just prompting me. As you can see, it's pretty. There's no glory about that at all. There's no formatting. It's just me writing stuff down as somebody's talking.
Short. TT respondent. 6.
So there you go. that is the way we have to read, and there's a lot more to it than that. But I thought I would use this as a small introduction to let you know sometimes what I get up to when I'm typing on this iPad and I've got these little white AirPods in. Mr. Toastmaster. And that was Reading with Speech by myself, Elise Lonsdale. I look forward to posting another YouTube video of my Toastmaster speeches very soon.